Hello, everybody. Mike here from BC Jedi Archives,
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Bryce.
and we're coming to you today to review Star Wars The High Republic, The Blade, issue number 3.
By none other than Charles Soule.
Damn you, Charles Soule. Let's take a look at the covers. Share screen. All right, so this is the main cover, which is the one that we have.
Yes.
And I like it. You can see his lightsaber hilt.
Pirate.
It's a very stoic kind of
Pirate. Colors are
Yeah.
kind of weird.
I love how he's like basically just standing there amongst the mercenaries.
No fear.
No.
spoiler,
Zero.
in this episode of this book, he's standing like in the middle of their camp, just like totally chill. So that's what's happening right here. He's just like chill. Just waiting to
All
see
by
what happens.
himself.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this is the second cover with his quote unquote sister.
Oh, see, I don't have that one. That one's cool.
That is cool.
Well,
Here you see the lightsaber is ignited. He looks like Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hellboy and swashbuckling pirate.
Yeah, I need that belt.
Hellboy was a swashbuckling pirate.
I like this cover.
I think that's the one that I have.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you showed me. And then the third cover is this one. This is really cool.
That's the one I got.
You have this in Jonathan. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, now I gotta look.
Look at how he's deflecting all those bolts, some with the force and some with his saber. It's like he's doing it all at
catch
once.
that till right now.
Isn't that awesome?
Like peace.
Yeah.
That's
so cool. He's just
That's
that
dynamic
badass.
to this image. The bolts are like
Oh nope, I have the same one. That's the one that I have. The one with the blaster deflections.
So which is your favorite cover of all three?
the original one, the stoic.
Original?
Bryce?
I do agree with that. I like the actual standard cover the best. I like all three, but that one is my favorite.
I like all three, but I think my favorite is the blaster bolts, deflecting them.
Well, you're wrong, Mike, but whatever.
Yeah, well, one of us has to be wrong. So it might as well be me. So part 3. The situation on planet Gansabor has worsened. The Jedi Masters Porter Engel and Barash Sylvain find themselves embroiled in a conflict with no clear solution. Certainty must be found and a side chosen. But new enemies have arrived, and time is running out. So what did you guys think about this episode? Starts out, they're just like,
I know we talked about it before in the episodes 1 and 2, but this is Iliad and the Odyssey, the Siege of Troy. I mean,
yeah,
that's exactly what this is.
They're on the wall.
Little bit of Helm's Deep.
Yeah,
it's got the big wall that's impenetrable except for the one flaw in the door. Just kind of the same as the culvert drain and Helm's Deep. It gives you that, but yeah, I mean it's definitely Iliad and the Odyssey vibes big time with that the secret marriage and bringing her back. She's supposedly kidnapped, and so I mean it's definitely influenced by that a lot. It's really really cool though. I absolutely love this issue a lot,
and they're both running because they kind of. She knew her people would never accept him as their king. So it's like, she's like, I didn't really have a choice to accept to come here if we wanted to be married. So,
right.
It's,
and so then they want the Jedi to go and defeat the mercenaries, which there's a lot of mercenaries there. Look at all that.
Yes.
I don't think that's what they want. I don't know if.
Yeah, they do. The Queen does. She wants them to go defeat them. And then, but they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go talk to them and see if we can come to an agreement.
Yeah, because I'm not even sure if I remember they even called for the Jedi. I think the Jedi maybe heard a distress signal or somebody else or just came down. But
No, they were or they received
They were called
communication to go there. Yeah, they were definitely called
were
there
they called there by?
by the queen and
by
the
the Queen.
prince and the
Mhm.
princess, the kidnapped princess, who was not kidnapped because she's in love with him. And so,
Well, the twist too, is that she's pregnant. And that's
right.
why they made the decision that they made.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation between her and Barash was very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So then he jumps down in there and he's like, starts, fighting them off. And like, oh man, it's a Jedi. You can't fight him. And he
Well,
makes it
yeah,
all the way.
it's his sister Barash, just kind of go take care of him.
Yeah,
Just
nonchalant.
She stays back with them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about this, and every time I read anything of Porter Engle, it always kind of reminds me how little we've seen of the Star Wars universe. Because what we've seen in our movies and cartoons, it's like 1% or less than 1% of 25,000 years of Jedi. And so whenever we think of Amazing Jedi, we think of Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see someone like this guy, what he does in this episode, it's just like he's really, I would have at least better lightsaber skills than those guys. He's the best lightsaber skills I've ever seen. So it
Oh,
does
agreed.
kind of it makes their galaxy a lot larger to me because we every time it's little when I first see it and it's kind of almost jarring. I was like, he can't be that good at. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Anakin's supposed to be like the best at this kind of stuff.
Of his generation.
Yeah, so it definitely
But
it
definitely, this guy's the best.
it changes my thought on
Yeah, he's the
everything.
best that we've seen by far.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
but it's little when it first comes across, it's a little upsetting. It's like that's not right. But then I realized it changes my thought. Like I have to think bigger, more scale. So there's
Well,
probably
because
even
remember, they've had a long period of peace, and all they've been doing is practicing their skills.
yeah.
They haven't actually been fighting.
So it definitely makes the Star Wars galaxy larger for me. I mean, people who aren't into like this and they're just into the Skywalker stuff. This is like I said, it's less than 1% of what really is out there when it comes to the Jedi. So it's pretty fascinating, and I just absolutely love him. I think whoever reads the stuff, he becomes everyone's one of everyone's favorites. Yeah, he's smooth, he's cocky, he knows
Mm-hmm.
exactly what he's doing. He's I don't know what the term is like. He knows he's better than you. He knows he's gonna.
He's
He,
like Elzar man turned up to 11.
it's.
Actually, though, but he's only good at the fighting of it because he depends on his sister
Yes.
for the other. They complement each other. So he
I mean,
knows that he has some weak spots, but she compensates those for him.
he's better than Anakin. Anakin was terrible at that stuff.
Well, that's true. That's true.
He's like to me, he's almost every level better than Anakin. So it's just like Anakin's supposed to be like this chosen one, but Anakin was terrible at the peaceful thing. Yeah, that's right. Obi was so good at. So
Mm-hmm.
being one with the Force. So it's fascinating reading this. Um, yeah, pretty much she just uses them, and she uses him. That's the other thing. When she finds out about the pregnancy, that's when she sends him. Because then, does it talk about it in this? There's a
No,
flash.
she sends him down there before she
Before
even
he finds out,
talks.
yeah,
Yeah,
because like here, she
she even
sends him
talks to his
down,
sister.
and then he meets General Vice,
Yep.
and she's the one that's assembled all the mercenaries, and he's talking to them. And then later on, it flashes back to, it swipes back to the castle where they're holed up, and they're hearing all the
Yep.
explosions. And that's when the wife, the princess, tells the sister
Mm-hmm.
right here. She goes, because, she's like, because what? It's like, I'm preggers,
Yeah.
because I'm pregnant, Master Jedi.
And then what? Yeah, and then what causes the scene at the end is when Brash says, "You need to tell them that they need to leave."
Right. Because
And
those are
then
your people.
yeah, he's like, "You need to the whole thing's wrong. You need to tell them they need to leave.
Well, the general's her people, and then they have all the mercenaries, which not the general, the strategists, right? Those are her people from that are working with the General Vice. But General Vice brought in the
No, General Vice is the leader of the mercenaries. There was the
oh
the
yeah,
other.
who's that female?
No,
That's
it was a guy. It was a guy.
General Vice is the
Gen-
female.
Who's this
General,
one?
yeah, he's the actual one that hired her and her mercenaries to come assist with. Yeah, he's a what Bethuvian.
This is General Vice, right?
Bethuvian. No, nope, nope.
The girl's name is General Vice. He's got a different title. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yes, he's oh gosh, no, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Um, Porter even says it's good to see you
Field
again.
Marshal Tozan.
Yeah,
Field Marshal.
thank you.
He's like,
He's
who's your
the
friend?
one
He's
in
like, that's
charge.
General Vice. Yeah. But
He's
he
the one
hired
in
her
charge.
with the mercenaries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once, Porter says, you guys need to leave, then she's like, all right, that's it. And then she walks out with the rocket. And
Mhm.
you think,
But she says that after
he's already gone.
Oh, she talks to the princess, and princess tells her she's pregnant. Then immediately she has a flashback.
Right.
yeah,
To the Jedi Temple.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where they become
15
brother
years
and sister.
earlier. Mm-hmm. So it's 15
This
years
is where,
earlier.
she's making an attachment. This is where she's kind of messing up a little bit.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, she even tells him to keep it a secret, I think. And she says, "Can you keep a secret or something like that? Or can I trust you with something?"
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is where she kind of starts to struggle a little bit, or remembers.
Because she feels something special with him.
Yeah. But that actually, they tells about the pregnancy. She has that flashback. Then she says, "You need to convince them to leave."
Right. Because it's a brief little flashback. It goes right back into
Yeah, but
the
that's
battle.
pretty important just to know. Just
It was more or less the why they call themselves brother and sister, because Porter says, I don't know, I don't know much about being a brother. I can't remember the exact quote, but I don't know much about being a brother.
Because she says, I don't remember my own family.
Yeah.
But I know how they work.
and then the ending scene where they know they can't shoot him with light lasers because he's reflecting them off. She goes, "Okay,
He's too good.
Take this rocket."
Right.
And you're like, "Well, what's he gonna do with that?" And then his
The bazooka,
sister's
right?
his sister's just totally calm,
Yeah.
and don't worry about it. And then the next couple panels are pretty golden. It's no, the ones after that with
No, I would say when he starts walking out of
that's pretty dope.
this one.
Yeah. Before he lights the blade up, and then the very next one, he's like, all right, we'll do it that way then.
It's almost like perfect cinema. Like as she's saying, like, he'll hold, and then you see him rising up. So that's pretty cool.
It's like, fine, we'll do it this way, and then to be continued. So it's a good little bridge. So, what did you guys think of this episode?
Great. Porter Engels, like I said, fast favorite. Definitely. I almost wish I got these issues before we saw him old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to like, as cool as being surprised as this old guy who was a chef to do great things, but kind of came out of nowhere. And I don't know if that's better as of knowing like who he was and then that happening.
Well, it's just like we got to know Yoda when he was almost dying, and then we went back to see him in his prime when he's in the prequel trilogy. It follows that parallel.
Well, and then we get him in, phase one. And then we're phase two, loosely talked about as well.
I'm just hoping phase three, he really takes you back. Like he does some really amazing stuff in phase three, because phase three is where the ish hits the fan, man. We know it's
Phase 3 is going to be pretty intense.
I think so too. I think it's
Yeah,
building up to that.
and and I think the Acolyte is that first bit of High Republic, live action that we're going to get. Obviously, at Celebration, Vernesta Rowe was revealed as being in the Acolyte. Obviously, she's much older, really a Jedi Master at this point, not a Jedi Knight that she currently was in Phase 2. So we know time has passed between Phase 1 and Phase 3. Let's face it, they're writing this exactly how there was an original trilogy, prequel, and sequel trilogy. They're doing the same thing. So
she must have had a Padawan that she trained as well that became a Jedi Knight. So he must have become a knight in order for her to become a master.
I'm assuming she's a Jedi Master in the show.
I don't know if we want to talk about that stuff or not. I can talk about that stuff right now. It's going to go a lot longer.
Let's do holocron review. So, out of 5 holocrons, how many holocrons do you give it, Bryce?
I love it. 5 out of 5. The Greek mythology tie-in is right up my alley. I thought it was beautifully written. It's beautifully drawn. So yeah, it was definitely a nice work of craftsmanship there by all
Jonathan?
involved.
What do you give it?
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And the only reason why is because I reserved that 5 out of 5. And the next one gets it. So I read ahead. And the next one.
Cheater! I also give it 4 out of 5. I give it 4 out of 5 because it was more like a bridge episode. It just kind of like, it leaves me with this, the to be continued is like, why do you to be continued at this point?
Like, that was an awesome point.
It was, but I was ready to see the next part right away.
I have no complaints about it, except it's just not as good as the next one.
I just loved how like I said, the Greek mythology tie-in, and really like when you think of the impervious wall, and I think Two Towers, I think Helm's Deep, and so for me, like bringing in different aspects into the Star Wars world was huge for me.
So you got it. 4 holocrons for me, 5 for Bryce, and 4 for Jonathan. So, as per usual, thanks for joining us again here on Virtual Cantina Jedi Archives. And Bryce?
And check out our Facebook pages. Is Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025. We're also put in partnership with Star Wars Book Nerds and Star Wars Comic Book Club.
So may the Force be with you.
And the Force be with you.
Always.